This is the network service of the NTA. Hello there and welcome to the News at 10 on NTA News 24. We're broadcasting live from Abuja and I'm Musbad and Wahab with the news. The headlines. Reactions continue to trail interception of leader of a proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Vice President Osinbajo makes case for sustainable food system as critical to the nation's human capital development. Hope rises for passage of petroleum industry bill as National Assembly Joint Committee submits reports. And governing APC gets more membership as Zamfara State Governor and others join Central Party. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in. Leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has been rearrested and rearraigned in court to continue his trial. Now let's get a rundown of how it's happened from Femi Okeowo.
So tight is the security under which he came to the Federal High Court that getting a clip of him was impossible. Of course, the explanation of the security agencies that brought him back to the court after 3 years of his absconding is that they would do nothing to endanger his health and well-being so that he can come and continue the trial for which he jumped bail in 2019. At the court, presided over by Justice Binta Inyako, the prosecution made an application for him to be remanded. Their argument is that based on his antecedent, he should be remanded before the trial commences. And Justice Binta Inyako granted that application and gave 26th of July for the commencement of the trial. He is going to, at least for now, continue on the 11th count charge for which he was initially arraigned in 2015 up till 2019. Now, before then, the Minister of Justice, and accompanied by the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies, explained circumstances under which Nnamdi Kanu was rearrested.
On the same date over his failure to appear in court for hearing. He has, often jumping bail, been accused of engaging in subversive activities that include inciting violence through television, radio, and online broadcast against the Nigerian state and institutions. Kanu was also accused of instigating violence, especially in southeastern Nigeria, that resulted in the loss of lives and property of civilians, military, paramilitary, police force, and destruction of civil institutions and symbols of civil authorities. Self-acclaimed leader of the proscribed secessionist indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has, for your information, been intercepted through the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian intelligence and security services. He has been brought back to Nigeria in order to continue facing trial after disappearing while on bail regarding 11-count charge against him. Recent steps taken by the federal government saw to the interception of the fugitive Kanu on Sunday, the 27th day of June 2021. Inane Kanyi Nnamdi Ngozi Chukwu Oku Kanu was born on the 25th September 1967 at Afrauku, Abia State, Nigeria, and indeed a holder of Nigerian passport number AO A051368827, first issued on the 17th October 2013 at Festac, Lagos. For your information, distinguished members of the press, Kanu is as at now being produced before Federal High Court in continuation of hearing of his case in respect of which he has evaded and indeed jumped bail.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami speaking on the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu, and now the acclaimed leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has constantly been in the news since 2015 for his alleged involvement in criminal activities. In this report, Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk takes a look at the initial arrest, arraignment, and jumping of bail by Nnamdi Kanu.
The Directorate of State Services on 14 October 2015 arrested the acclaimed leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, in Ikeja, Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. Kanu and 4 others were arraigned before Justice Binta Njako of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on 11 counts charge. The counts bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, managing an unlawful society, publication of defamatory matter, illegal possession of firearms, and improper importation of goods, among others. Upon arraignment, the 5 defendants pleaded not guilty, which paved way for their trial to commence. During the pendency of the matter before Justice Binta Njako, counsel to Nnamdi Kanu brought an application for bail, which the court granted in April 2018. When the matter came up for continuation of hearing in October 2018, 4 other defendants, excepting Nnamdi Kanu, were in court. Upon inquiry by the presiding judge of the first defendant, his counsel informed the court that his whereabouts was unknown as a result of the alleged intervening factors by the Nigerian military. Kanu's continuous absence from the court prompted the court to order his sureties to produce the defendant or show cause why their bail bond would not be forfeited. This development prompted the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja to revoke his bail granted him on health ground on the 28th March 2019. It has been alleged that upon jumping bail, Nnamdi Kanu has been engaging in subversive activities that include inciting violence through television, radio, and online broadcasts against Nigeria and Nigerian state and institutions.
I went to America and I told World Igbo Congress that this war you are avoiding is going to come to your villages. Any revolution that is coming now, you must stand very firm.
With his rearrest, Nnamdi Kanu will be made to face the 11 counts charge preferred against him since 2015. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Right, we're going to get some sides to that subsequently in the news. But for now, let's move on. As a prolific and sustainable food system is critical to the nation's human capital development. This is the view of Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo as he declares open the consolidatory dialogue for the United Nations Food System Summit holding in Abuja. State House correspondent Gideon Nifade reports.
Nigeria has a population of over 200 million, and 50% of this population are children. Nigeria is one of
Voices from young Nigerians contributing to the discussion before the policymakers and implementers and other stakeholders. The consolidatory dialogue is to examine all the critical issues identified at the various dialogues on food system in the country and make inputs and suggestions to improve on the report of the various dialogues that has been synthesized into 3 and 10 years implementation plans, as well as agree on a roadmap for the revolutionary food system needed for the nation. Declaring open the dialogue, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo expresses concern over the increase in malnutrition cases in children, leading to diseases and, in most cases, death.
So it's now up to us from here on to own the process and be ready to translate the recommendations of these dialogues to prompt action. This would mean embracing the challenges required in modernization of farming practices, and we also heard even from the children that mechanization is absolutely important. The reduction of post-harvest losses is another critical issue. And we must ensure that we practice environmentally sustainable production. We must empower our communities by creating jobs and livelihoods to sustain the food systems that we desire.
Collective efforts to transform the challenge to better and quality living must increase, the Vice President says.
For the government of Nigeria, our commitment to sustainable food systems is one of the key strategies for eliminating poverty across Nigeria. We know that our target of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within a decade is achievable only if we focus on substantially improving agriculture and food systems, which assures us not just of good food, but also decent jobs. This perspective on addressing hunger, malnutrition, and poverty runs through all of our policy frameworks, including the recently launched National Poverty Reduction and Growth Strategy.
Vice President Oshimbaju also presents a publication on Nigerian food systems mapping report to state governments across the 6 geopolitical zones. The report presents findings on the obstacles to making food available and accessible to people in an efficient and sustainable manner. Security constraints to agriculture, especially in the northeast and other vulnerable areas. The findings also include food safety issues and prevalence of malnutrition, as well as state of food production in each region. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And a smart partnership, bright policies and strong political will are some of the pathways required for significant transformation of a food system in Nigeria. These were part of the recommendations presented at the National Dialogue on the United Nations Food System Summit in Abuja. Adebola Brooks-Sunday reports.
Food is one of the 3 fundamental needs for man's survival. It was observed after a series of exploratory dialogues that food systems in Nigeria are fragile and inequitable as a result of security threats. This consolidatory dialogue is leveraging on findings from the national dialogues across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, said infrastructure will be essential to achieving the set goals for both short and long-term plans.
Rural communities have identified the importance of market access, enhanced extension services, and better financing arrangements.
I call upon all stakeholders to join the efforts and to support the government and the people of Nigeria.
The dialogue also got the buy-in of the Nigeria Governors Forum.
There is need indeed also for us to have sustainable partnerships if we want to be able to achieve success when it comes to food system transformation.
The government is working to create a secure environment for farmers and the entire population so that we can work in peace and keep country on the right track towards achieving of food sustainability.
For the convener of the summit, Olushola Idowu, there are job opportunities along the food value chain.
The food system is an art and a business that will turn the fortune of a nation around and increase foreign exchange earnings through exportation of agricultural products.
Micronutrient deficiency, overnutrition, as well as other nutritional issues were considered for validation.
Efforts to make foods that are rich in the basic classes of food nutrients available and accessible to citizens will prevent malnutrition in all forms and reduce diet-related diseases.
The forum agreed that knowledge and increased awareness are keys in ensuring food security in Nigeria. Adebola Brooks-Sunday, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Up ahead. Nigeria Immigration Service keys into federal government's national social housing. Details when we return. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in to the news at 10. Now joining us via Zoom to further discuss the developments about the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu, that's the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. He's a Major General Adofiko, retired. Major Gabriel Adofiko is the immediate past Secretary General, retired Army, Navy and Air Force Officers Association. Thanks a lot for joining us, Major Adofiko.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Very well. Now, what do you make of the collaborative effort that led to this rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu by the security agencies?
Well, first of all, permit me to congratulate Nigeria, particularly the government, and permit me also to appreciate the security agencies for staging this particular aspect of our security operations. I think this again is bringing to the forefront the merits of the changes we've been experiencing. This is again a demonstration of the synergy, the kind of synergy we desire from the security agencies, not just among themselves, but even with the other arms of governance, like the judiciary, and all that. Why am I appreciating all the government and all that? There was a comment I passed a couple of months ago on your Tuesday live program, where I drew the attention of Nigerians to us talking less of the symptomic experiences in our daily national life and more on the causative, so that we can search for solutions to the causes. The arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, rather than push our efforts and make heavy our discussions on the how he was arrested, it should be, one, allowing the process of justice dispensation to take its course. Two, putting away our attention from the process of his arrest that, as at this point in time, is not material. And I say not material for the following reason. We have seen him on screen. He's been presented. He's been arraigned before a proper court of law in Nigeria. We didn't see him limp. We didn't see him with broken head. We didn't see him physically deformed in any way. That is an indication that it was a successful operation, recovering a fugitive back for justice's sake. So I think all we should do today as Nigerians is let us remain focused and see the process of the judicial execution of justice carried out. Secondly, I want to also use this opportunity to appeal to Nigerians that this is not the time for emotions. This is not the time for sentiments. There has been too much cloud of ethnic and religious sentimentalism in Nigeria. What we need now is approaching issues as they are and deal with them by the day, the way they come, to attain the kind of national result that is our various aspirations. Now, the question is going to be, what should be the reaction? Because I read in a couple of social media publications some few minutes back, I saw all kinds of reactions. Some people say, we are watching to see what will happen to him. What is going to happen to his followership? There might be demonstrations here and there. Please and please, let us knock off sentimentalism from our situation. Where he had followers because there was a break, a lacuna in our socio-governmental management, and they took advantage of that to manifest themselves. That in totality is not an offense, but what is an offense is probably the impact of these manifestations on the rest of society in terms of loss of lives and loss of properties here and there in the southeast
right.
and wherever in Nigeria. So my
Major
appeal
Gabriel
is that, yes, sir.
All right, if you can hear me now, you've talked about the sympathy and all of that that might be following this rearrest. Now, as an expert in when it has to do with security, what would be your advice as regards managing this situation so that we don't have spillovers around the country, particularly in the southeastern parts?
Now, first of all, I want the rest of us who have the capacity of commenting or who have the opportunity of commenting, I think that's what I should say, the opportunity of commenting should comment positively on the circumstance in our hands. The illegal element in Kanu situation is that he was on bail and he jumped bail. That is being judiciously corrected. He was returned at the weekend and by Tuesday arraigned before a proper court of law. Let's keep that. Then the other bit is the followership. Whatever their intents, they should all understand that this nation as at now, all hands are on deck. Their political leaders are talking. Their non-political leaders are talking. The followership are also reacting. So everybody, my advice at this point is shoot your arms. Put away whatever aggression you have in mind. Let the due process follow. I can assure you that at the end of the day, we will not need violence. Rather, we will need negotiation. And the process can only be done when, as we are experiencing now, the judicial or justice administration process is being carefully and steadily administered. So if you ask me by summary, I would say, please, wherever we are, be it in the southeast, be it in the northwest, any part of this country, at this point in time, let us put down our comments and allow the process to take its place. Let us put down our reactions, because sometimes you can be reacting out of a non-existing issue, more out of perception than the reality. So as of today, the truth is, we commend the government for bringing him back for justice. We also commend the government for putting him up for justice. Let this judicial process be executed, and then we can listen to other comments.
All right, thank you very much.
Involved, particularly in the southeast. Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Please and please, particularly in the southeast, please bear with us at this point.
Major Gabriel Adofiko, we really appreciate your time for giving us these perspectives to this rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Right, let's move away from that. Nigeria Immigration Service has keyed into the federal government's national social housing scheme with a groundbreaking for its staff housing scheme in Kiami off Airport Road, Abuja. Victor Azu reports.
A key component of the federal government's economic sustainability plan is the National Social Housing Program. It is aimed at delivering affordable housing and millions of jobs for Nigerians. Agencies of government have keyed in. And propelled by the Minister of Interior, the Nigerian Immigration Service has now followed suit with its first ever housing scheme in the Kiami district of Abuja off the Airport Road. It's a scheme that the Comptroller General of Immigration holds dear, as it will improve living standards of officers and men of the service.
The Comptroller General have a mission of giving back dedicated officers and men of the Nigerian Immigration Service social welfare amenities, so that it will be a continuous process for the benefit of all officers and men of the Nigerian Immigration Service, not only at the service headquarters, but all the commands and formations.
And working with other partners, the contractors hope to make this dream a reality in no distant time.
We are expecting 5,000 units, but for the phase one, which the foundation is just laid now, we are expecting 800 units. We hope by February, the first set will take their house. And the scheme is one of its kind. You can't find it anywhere in the real estate industry. We open opportunity for payment for 120 months and a construction period of 36 months.
With that in mind, personnel of the Nigerian Immigration Service will be salivating at the prospects of affordable homes not far from the service headquarters. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Time for another break. More news afterwards. Stay with us.
The best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
everything music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Talkie Movies.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder. No!
Welcoming you to your weekend for today.
Beyond 6 packs.
Bills.